We'll be talking about cryptocurrencies and the stock market. Stock market's trading right now. We're about to get this live stream started soon. All right, let's see. Welcome guys to the Meet Damien channel. I am Damien, and today's live stream we are going to be talking about cryptocurrencies here. We're going to talk about the stock market. We're going to talk about European trade deal that just got announced yesterday, and we'll talk about something that affected the markets already this morning. Kind of negatively affected the markets, but yeah, we'll be talking about the Bitcoin price. We'll be doing some of your requests for altcoins and for any stocks that you guys have. I see we got John316 in the chat right now asking about Kronos and ZBCN, one of his top 2 favorite coins to talk about. We'll probably talk about that after we talk about the news for the day and how that's affecting the markets. But yeah, John's asking, are we bullish? I'm bullish. I'm bullish on the fact that we had that European Union trade deal. So let's go ahead and take a look at that right now. For those who haven't been following the markets, or maybe it's just news to you right now, we did see that Trump announced the EU trade deal, okay, with 15% tariffs on all goods that are coming in from Europe, from the European Union, except for there's a few exemptions, I think, like aircraft parts and medicine that we get from Europe, but this is better than what they were previously going to get, which was a 30% tariff. So they came to the table and they agreed to start buying some more products from America. It says here that the EU has agreed to purchase about $750 billion worth of U.S. energy and invest an additional $600 billion worth of investments into the U.S. above the current levels that they're already trading at. And here's a little picture of Donald Trump shaking hands with the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. I don't know if I said that right, but that's her right there, shaking hands with President Trump. I guess this took place on July 27th, 2025, which was yesterday in Scotland. Okay, so big things. This they were up against August 1st tariff deadline, and instead of getting 30% tariffs, they're going to get 50% tariffs. So the markets kind of front ran that a little bit yesterday. Okay, we saw Bitcoin, right? We saw the price of Bitcoin, which is currently trading at $118,131. On the 1 hour time frame here, we did see Bitcoin almost challenge to get above $120,000. We saw us get up to like $119,839 last night around 10 p.m. Eastern time here. And then we started selling off this morning. And this morning, you know, what I was wondering, you know, why the markets weren't continuing to go up and celebrating. I was wondering if it might have been like a sell the news event. But what I did find out just now is that Donald Trump, right, is giving Russia less than 2 weeks to reach a peace deal with Ukraine. And this is kind of bad for the markets, or at least the markets are negatively reacting to this, because Trump said that Russia now has less than 2 weeks to cut a deal, or they're going to face secondary tariffs on their trade partners. So basically, whoever buys oil from Russia, that being like China and India, they might face secondary tariffs. And I think they said that this could be as high as about 100% tariffs on whatever those countries do trade with Russia. I can't really get the exact number off. I did remember reading that it was going to be about 100%. Yeah, here we go. Trump imposed a 50-day deadline on Putin on July 14th. At the time, he said that buyers of Russian exports would face tariffs at about 100% if there is no ceasefire deal with Ukraine by September. Looks like that deadline is now getting pushed up to just 2 weeks from now. If they don't come up with a peace deal, then we could possibly see China and India paying 100% tariffs on whatever they buy from Russia. So that kind of affected the markets today. That's why you now see Bitcoin prices now trading at about $118,000, down 1% today, when we were actually up about $1,000. We were trading near $119,000, almost $120,000 last night. So we got that to contend up against here in cryptocurrency world and Bitcoin. But yeah, right now Bitcoin is at $118,000. I'll do a deep dive on Bitcoin, but let's get into the user requests here. We have my buddy John is saying he wants us to look at Kronos and ZBCN. That's my YouTube guys, and I'm also doing a TikTok stream as well. My TikTok guys, I'm waiting for you guys to put in your requests for what assets you want me to look at. I can look at both stocks and crypto. We usually do crypto a lot here, but I can take a look at stocks, especially since the stock market is open today. And we'll talk about what's affecting the stock market as well. We do have interest rate decision with the FOMC, the Federal Reserve, right? Federal Reserve is going to be doing a meeting on July 29th, which is tomorrow, but we probably won't hear the decision on what they're going to do with interest rates until July 30th here. So keep that in mind. That's going to affect both the stock market and cryptocurrencies as well. Okay. But yeah, going forward here, let's take a look at Kronos here. Okay. So we're now looking at Kronos, currently trading at 13 cents, almost 14 cents. Let me get into the daily chart here. So I know we talk about Kronos just about almost every day, but it's going to be pretty much the same analysis here. Kronos is it should receive support, I believe, at 11.5 cents here, which is this red line that I marked off over here. It's also where the 21-day exponential moving average is sitting at, but this 21-day is still racing up to provide support. It could provide support at higher levels here, maybe at like 12 or 13 cents. But right now, we did get a red candle here on Kronos, okay? And that's probably because of the news about 100% tariffs on Russia's trading partners, affecting the markets right now, okay? But if we're gonna continue being bullish on Kronos, right, I'll quickly do a Fibonacci retracement here. All right, measuring from the impulse move to the highs that we made. Did we get as high as, oh, we almost got as high as 15 cents on Kronos earlier, probably last night. But yeah, if we continue to be bullish here on Kronos, then we got the 1272 saying that we could get up to like 16, almost 17 cents here as a take profit target in the future, in the near term future. But then we also have a 1618 saying that this thing could get up to like 19 cents later on in 2025. And 19 cents is not too far off of being a realistic target here, because we did see 20-cent Kronos back in like December of last year when we had the altcoin season in full swing for like a couple of months towards the end of 2024. So I still think this is your take profit target number 1, 16, 17 cents. Take profit target number 2 should be about 19, 20 cents. And if you're really in it for the long term, maybe we start making some newer highs here where we see the 2618 at 26 cents for Kronos. And if this thing goes up to 26 cents, you know, that's going to be a double. And in my opinion, you know, I say you should hit that sell button if any of your assets end up doubling in price on you. So those are your upside targets. Downside targets, like I said, I'm eyeballing that 11.5 cent level here, because that's also a 0.5 retracement level, which could be significant. Okay, and it's also a level that we've seen in the past here has been rejected and acted as support in previous price action candles here. So I think 11.5 cents should be your downside target, but we could actually just do a more shallow pullback and actually come down to like 12 or 12.5 cents, where we might get a front run off this golden pocket area, and then we get sent up to higher prices on Kronos. So that is Kronos in a nutshell. Let's move on to a ZBCN. And yes, I have previous analysis on ZBCN here. ZBCN is currently trading at, we'll just call it 44,689. And we're up about 6.61%. Guys, can I get a sound check? I just want to make sure that you guys are able to hear me, that I actually remember to turn the mic on. Okay, I think I can hear myself. And I haven't heard any complaints, so that's good. But yeah, let me know if the music is a little bit too loud or not loud enough. Okay. But I like to leave the music on to keep things a little bit more lively, because I know some of the stuff can be pretty dry for us to look at, and just gives us, you know, a little bit of entertainment while we're looking at the charts here. But yeah, here we are. We're looking at ZBCN. ZBCN currently at the 0.5 retracement at 45,284. Okay. Looks like we're probably going to get bounced between this level, and if we start losing the momentum to the upside, we might come and revisit the 0.382 level at 39,000. I think you could try to put your buy limit orders in at 39,000, see if that catches. Okay, you see if the bid actually gets to go through on you. But I think you know, ZBN, as steady as she goes, she obviously had a good last couple of days here. But we might, you know, get rejected off that 0.5 retracement, come right down to that 0.382 retracement at 39,000, make a higher low, and then continue on, and maybe we can start seeing this thing get up to the golden pocket here, that 618 retracement level at 50,000. Okay, about 51,400, 53,000 is what I got measured right here for the golden pocket. I think that's going to be your first take profit target, and then second take profit target is going to be that 786 retracement at 60,000. Okay. And then, of course, after that, we'll see if we can get back to the levels here at 71,000, which is where we saw this thing trading at back in June, early June, late May of this year. Those are your levels for ZBCN as we just try to cash the bids here, try to make some higher lows here. like I said, I think we'll get some resistance at this 618 golden pocket level. Usually ends up being a level that traders and investors decide to like swap hands, and if you're a bull, you're trying to sell around here, and if you're still bearish on this asset, this is where the bears might start showing up and pushing the price down on you. Okay, so I still think this is a level to be looking out for, that 51,000 level for ZBCN. All right. Wow, John, that's a lot of money in that one asset right there. Normally, I don't like telling people how much I have in any particular asset, mainly because, especially on a public live stream and forum that we're in right now, we could, someone could take that information and they could start trading against you, okay, on that particular asset. And then also it kind of makes you a target. Someone wants to steal your money. Now they know how much you got, and it makes you a likely target. So it's just something to keep in mind. That's something that you should probably that information you just keep to yourself, just for your own safety. And then also, you might even get some people who might get jealous in the chat, and they might start causing drama on you. But yeah, we're doing an early afternoon live stream, just like we did yesterday. I know some of you guys might be at work. I'm hoping that you guys are able to listen to me while you're doing whatever you're doing for today and this afternoon here. But we'll take a look at some of the coins that are making big moves, and we'll go into we'll take a look at the Bitcoin, and then I'm going to talk about probably Solana after that, and Ethereum. And then we'll just move on to some other coins as well. Right now, let's take a look at Bitcoin, see how Bitcoin is doing. Bitcoin currently trading at $118,000. Okay, and I think my analysis is still mainly the same here. We are getting a red day now because of threat about tariffs with Russia and its trading partners, happening sooner rather than later, within the next 2 weeks possibly, if they don't do a trade deal a peace deal with Ukraine. So Trump is now focusing on that as part of his agenda now. And yeah, that is sending Bitcoin price down to 118,000. We're pretty much getting respect and some support off of the 0.786 retracement. This is going to probably act as support unless we get some more bad news in the markets here. But I'm expecting Bitcoin possibly to just continue trading sideways until we get some more conviction and more hopium in the markets for us to go to higher prices here. Bitcoin, if it does decide to be bullish here, we want to see it retest the all-time high of about $123,000 Bitcoin. And if it does, I think we could be on our way to another take profit target here at the 1272. $130,000 Bitcoin is what I'm eyeballing. Maybe that doesn't happen this month. We only got 3 more days left in the month here. Maybe we get to see $130,000 Bitcoin going into August. Okay, and then also we got the 1618 saying that Bitcoin could get up to $138,000. So I'm thinking $130,000 Bitcoin could be coming up on deck for the month of August. I can't say what day. I'm not from the future. I'm just trying to predict the future here as best as I can for the price for Bitcoin. But the charts are saying that $130,000 Bitcoin should be a target that we should be looking for going forward, and that could happen, I believe, in the next couple of weeks, couple of months here. Okay, and then if Bitcoin decides to lose this momentum for any reason here, we could end up revisiting this golden pocket level here at $114,500 Bitcoin. Or 113,714, which is that 0.618 golden pocket number that we always eyeball. This is the golden pocket here on the Fibonacci, the 0.618 and the 0.65 level. This is the prices that we're going to be looking for if Bitcoin actually does lose this $117,900 level. For sure, we should get some support here from the Fibonacci traders that are eyeballing these levels. Now, I don't like just using strictly Fibonacci. I like using moving averages as well. It would be nice if I saw a moving average that was lining up with one of these Fibonacci levels, but I don't see that right now. If Bitcoin disrespects this golden pocket number, we could come down even lower, and then I think that's when this 50-day moving average could act as support. This 50-day moving average is sitting at 106,339, and that's sort of confluent with this 0.382 retracement at $107,700 Bitcoin. So yeah, I think if we lose $113,000, $114,000 Bitcoin for any reason, then the next level is we might drop another $7,000 all the way down to $107,000 Bitcoin all over again. And that would probably be where we get a bounce off the 50-day moving average. Okay, let's take a look at the oscillators to see if Bitcoin is overheated and overbought. And it's not. Okay, the RSI on Bitcoin is currently trading at about 58.29. That's that red number right there. This red number right here. We see that the RSI for Bitcoin is at 58.15 as of now. Okay, so Bitcoin is not overbought, and it's not oversold either. All right, and we're just making basically higher lows here on the RSI. Maybe this might be the lowest point that we get, and then if we catch some bids on Bitcoin, we can start making maybe another higher high, going into overbought territory all over again, like we saw with Bitcoin back in the second week of July here, where we had an RSI of like 75. Anytime you're above 70 on the RSI, that's considered overbought, overheated, overcooked on whatever asset you're looking at. All right. Also, I think Bitcoin was showing that the selling pressure was dying down up until today. We did get a pink candle here on Sunday, saying that the selling pressure was dying down, but now the selling pressure came back in again on Monday. But we still got, 7 more hours left here on Monday before this candle closes here. We got 7 hours and 48 minutes for the daily candle to close, so there's still some time for us to get the buyers to show up here and get rid of this selling pressure that's starting to show up here on the MACD. Moving forward, we do have the stochastic RSI is low. Okay, so we do have the permission and the green light to go to higher prices. And then also look at this, guys. Okay, we actually have a daily on the daily chart for market cipher B. We have a green buy dot. Oh my God! It just disappeared. So this is live trading action that we're looking at, because we actually did have a green dot and it literally just disappeared just now. But this green buy dot, when it shows up, that usually means it's time to start buying Bitcoin, at least on the daily time frame. When I see it show up on the daily time frame, I know that the next few days, maybe even the next week or two, could be a good week to be in Bitcoin, because when that green buy dot shows up, like it just did, and it disappeared on us. But when that green buy dot shows up, it's a good time to be in Bitcoin. Last time we had a green buy dot that actually showed up on the price of Bitcoin was back here on Tuesday, June 24th. And we all know what happened after Tuesday, June 24th. I mean, we kept going up and to the right, and then we just kept going up and to the right some more until we got that red sell dot that came on July 16th. July 16th was when we got that red sell dot on market cipher B, and yeah, okay, it wasn't the end of the world. We didn't come crashing down on Bitcoin, but we are trading sideways here on Bitcoin, so that could also mean that you're not going to go up, but you could just trade sideways. You saying you can't hear anything? I'm not sure why that's the case. All right. There's no way for me to check the volume here on my TikTok live stream. If you say you can't hear me, that's unfortunate. Did you try turning up the volume on whatever phone or whatever you're using to watch me on TikTok here? Or maybe you could try to rejoin the stream again, see if that fixes the volume issue. But yeah, it's unfortunate. There's nothing I could do. If you can't hear me, you can't hear me. Is there a reason why you can't hear me? Are you able to hear me, but my voice isn't loud enough? You're just gonna have to let me know. But anyways, yeah. Looks like that green buy dot just came back in here again on market cipher B. So I think this thing is trying to tell us that we should be buying Bitcoin again. Okay, and also with the 21 EMA, the 21 EMA kind of acts as like a launch pin if we are bullish. If we bounce up against this 21 EMA, we should start going up to higher prices here, kind of like what we did here. All right, back here in May, where we came close to the 21 EMA, and then we shot up again. Okay, came close to the 21 EMA around Monday, May 19th, and then we shot up again. Okay, in this case, for whatever reason, we came down. We actually went below the 21 EMA a couple of times here in May and June, but then once again we were able to use this 21 EMA as like a trampoline to jump up to higher prices here. Okay, so I think now that we're close to the 21 EMA again, there's got to be a decision to be made, some resolution that, are we going to jump up to $130,000 Bitcoin, or will we actually lose this 21 EMA? Something to keep in mind. Okay, we do have the interest rate decision for the Federal Reserve that could actually cause us to go up in price if they actually lower interest rates. I think now that we're getting some resolution on tariffs here, the European Union is not going to be getting 30% tariffs. They're going to be getting 15% tariffs. I think that will make Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve comfortable enough to actually start working on lowering interest rates to be more accommodating to the markets here. As the interest rates that they already have is pretty restrictive at 5% for a lot of people here. It would help everybody out there if we could get lower interest rates for mortgages and buying cars and other big purchases. It would help the economy a lot, especially for like people with their credit cards. Lowering interest rates is going to help you out with your credit cards as well. All right, so let's see. Try to see if I got any requests here. If you guys have any requests, I'll take it. John says he has Jesus, no offense. All right. And HRJ says I sound good. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know if something's wrong on his end, but I could hear the volume pretty fine on my iPad that I got with me that I use to monitor the channel here, and I haven't heard anybody else complain about the sound either. And you're still saying you're not able to hear anything. I don't know why that's the case. I might have to restart the live stream for my TikTok, guys, if that's the case. Is there anybody else on TikTok that thinks that they're not able to hear me? Because if that's the case, then I'll go ahead and just restart the live stream for TikTok and see if that fixes the issue. Looks like we have a request here for Plume. All right, appreciate that request. We'll take a look at Plume. All right, let's move on to a Plume here. Alright, we're looking at Plume right now, currently trading at roughly about 10.5 pennies at 0.106 pennies. And we got Plume. Looks like Plume kind of bottomed out here in June. I'm just trying to get familiar with this chart, see where it has been, get an idea as to where it might go. Looks like it started trading on Binance Exchange back in March of earlier this year. We were in a downtrend for the most part back here in May and June. And I think it looks like we bottomed out here on June 22nd, okay? Yeah, after they dropped bombs on Iran, when that whole Middle East crisis was going on, and they stopped doing that, we got the bounce here on Plume. All right, looks like we kind of almost created like a double bottom here on Plume, and that sent us to higher prices. And now you're kind of like flagging out. You got like a kind of like a bull flag, sort of. If I can just draw this out quickly, and it kind of looks almost like I don't know if I want to count these candle wicks here, but you kind of got yourself like a bull flag here, upward sloping bull flag on Plume. And just using trend analysis and chart pattern analysis, you got your flagpole here, you got your flag, and if this thing does break out to the upside out of this flagpole here, okay, then you could see Plume get up to about like 17 cents. And if it gets up there, that's kind of confluent with the prices that this thing was trading at back here in May. Early May, we saw 17 cent, 18 cent Plume. So I'm not sure when that will happen. We'll have to see how this bull flag fills out. But right now, you're just getting, you know, sideways consolidation on your asset here, Plume. Okay. I don't really have any moving averages to work off of here. But you can see that we kind of got rejected off of this 50-day moving average that just started showing up. This green line was about like, this green line was at almost 14 cents here. And looks like here on July 21st, Plume got as high as 13.5 cents. And we basically front run the rejection off of that 50-day moving average. So the 50-day moving average could act as resistance again in the future. I think as this 50-day starts coming down here, it might cause us to get rejected near like 12 or 13 cents. I think those should be a high watermark. If you're day trading this, you'd probably be aiming for like 12 or 13 cents as a take profit target. And of course, if you're buying here, which, you know, buying at the bottom of a bull flag or the bottom of a consolidation pattern, usually a good area to be buying. Okay, so this thing is range bound right now. And I would just say, yeah, you can put your stop loss right below this last daily higher low here at what, roughly 9 cents, almost 10 cents here, so like 0.099 pennies to be exact. You can put your stop loss right over here, and if it gets triggered, then that means there's something wrong with this asset and it wants to go down to lower prices. But if it doesn't hit you at that 9 cent stop loss, then you're just waiting for this thing to go up to at least 12 cents or 12.5 cents if you're day trading it. But if you're a swing trader or if you're in it for the long term, you're probably waiting for that 17 cent target. Alright, and I'll even do a Fibonacci analysis, see if the Fibonacci kind of agrees with that. If this is going to be the swing high to the swing low here, you got the 1272 saying 15 cents. And then you got the 1618 saying about 17 cents. So I think 17 cents keeps coming up as a magic number where you should probably be considered selling your Plume once it gets up to 17 cents. Alright. Looks like we have another request here for ASR. Alright. Hey, Dizzle, can you just give me a sound check? How does it sound? Because I had another person here complain about he wasn't able to hear me. But I think it might be on his end. Let me know if the sound is good on the live stream here. Mike Film says, we cooked. What are we cooking? What's getting cooked today? Could be a buying opportunity if there's some cooking going on. Let's look at ASR. Let's go ahead and take a look at ASR for the next request here. ASR, I'm assuming that's a crypto. ASR as Roma fan token. What is this? This is interesting. Alright, we'll take a look at it on Binance. Whoa, okay, this thing's making some moves here. ASR currently trading at $6.04, up 14.7%. And you definitely got an impulse move here. Okay, I'm not sure why that's the case. I'm looking at this thing for the first time myself. I'm assuming this is a meme coin. Because of the name that it has. But it looks like this thing started trading. Oh wow, on Binance it started trading back in 2021. January of 2021. But it's been down and to the right, down to the right. So this thing has been a good way to lose money in my opinion. If you're trying to lose money, this would be the asset. Sorry, I just have to say, like, I mean, this thing has been down and to the right this whole time, and now you're catching some bids out of nowhere. But I think this is just going to be a selling opportunity. You should be consider yourself clicking the sell button here, because Because look, you have these other candle wick scam wicks here. This thing got as high as like $6.50 back in April 2024, and it wasn't able to hold that level, and then we quickly came down the next day to like down to like $4. So this thing is not able to hold its weight when it actually gets up to higher prices here. But sure enough, yeah, you are catching some bids here. So what do you want me to do with this? The only thing I can do is probably just do a Fibonacci analysis. I'll do a Fibonacci analysis on this from the impulse at $2.30 up to the high. Let's see, this thing got as high as $6.76. Let me just adjust that, $6.76. All right. So I'll give you a little bit of hopium first, and then I'll throw in a dose of reality after that. If this thing was to continue on its exponential move up to higher prices here, then you're looking at a 1272, where this thing could possibly get up to $7.96, this asset here, okay? Or ASR could possibly get up to like 1618 at $9.50, okay? But in my opinion, it's probably overbought, and it's probably going to come down just as fast as it came up, because we've seen it do that in the past already. And the RSI on this thing is at 93.95. I hope you're looking for shorts on this asset, or maybe asking me, Damien, should I be taking profit? And I would say yes, I would be taking profit, because when the RSI gets into the 90s, you are clearly overcooked and overbought. If that's what you mean by we're being cooked today, this would be one of the things that's being cooked. This thing is already overbought, in my opinion, and the RSI does not stay this high, right? Last time we had an RSI about this high was March of 2024, so you're really asking for a lot for this thing to continue going up to higher prices here. But you know, I already gave you the higher price targets here. Now, if this thing does decide to come down, if you're asking me about this asset because you're trying to look for a short and you're not sure how far down it could go, well, we already came down to the 786 retracement already at $5.80 earlier today. We actually came as low as $4.90, which is right at that 618. So we already in one day we hit the golden pocket retracement at the $5.06 level here, okay? If this thing decides to go further down to a deeper retracement, I mean, the worst case scenario is we could see the 0.236 retracement come into play, where this thing could drop all the way down to $3.36. There could be a 50% drop down in price on this asset. And the fact that you're so far away from the moving averages here, I mean, you better pray and hope to God that this thing just trades sideways at the 786 retracement where we're currently at right now. If not, look out below, because you might not get support until you get to the 21 EMA, which is sitting at 272, or the 0.236 retracement, which is sitting at 336. John, I'm glad you have that faith. It's good to have that faith. You know, I like to think that the man upstairs is looking after me as well. Because, you know, if it's my time to go, it's my time to go. But if it's not my time to go, I know he has my back. Appreciate that. Rifler Madness is asking about, should you want me to let... You say, you should let people know about this TSYY ticker that pays weekly dividends. I'll take a look at that if that's a request. Yeah. We'll take a look at that. TSYY. I did say I was going to try to look at the Solana and Ethereum, but I guess I can hold off on that. We do have another request. I'll take your request. Appreciate that request there. All right. TSYY. Is this a stock? Because you say it pays dividends, so I'm assuming it's in the stock market world here. Looks like I have Granite Shares Yield Boost Tesla ETF. And this is not a crypto. It is not a crypto. Looks like it is a stock, okay, or an ETF. All right. So we're looking at Granite Shares ETF. This thing is trading at $9.15, up 0.72%. And this is very interesting. Why would you want to get involved in this asset here? Okay, even though it's paying a dividend, the price, your principal is dropping on you. This thing was trading, looks like at like $26 around January of earlier this year. Looks like it first started trading, it started first trading on December 18th of 2024. And now you just dropped like a rock ever since February of 2025. So you're actually losing money on this thing. I don't care how much of a dividend yield you're getting on this thing. For this thing to just be dropping on you like a rock, that hurts. And that's not worth whatever dividend yield you're getting. Unless you're getting like 100% dividend yield maybe. Okay? It's not a good enough yield to be losing your principal like this. So this thing is clearly in a falling wedge, right? If I measure the highs that it's making with the lower lows that it's making, you are in a falling wedge, and a falling wedge is bullish because it usually breaks out to the upside, okay? But it could also continue on its downward path here. And it could just actually end up just being not even a falling wedge, but it could just be a descending channel if it continues, you know, dropping like a rock here. But right now, I do see it as a falling wedge. This could be bullish. Most likely, if it's going to be a weak pullout out of the falling wedge, it's probably just going to trade sideways to get out of this falling wedge. However, if we get a vigorous V-shaped recovery out of here, we could see this thing shoot up, and if it does shoot up like a rocket out of this falling wedge, we'll probably get a rejection right here at that $12.06 level, where we have the 50-day movement average probably acting as resistance at that level there. So I would mark that on your chart. That 50-day movement average is starting to show up here. That could be your resistance level. So I will mark that. In case you ask about this asset again, I'm going to put this as the take profit target level here. $12.04, around that area, but basically 12 bucks. And if it does get up there, I mean, you'll be up 33% from where you are right now. And that's actually a good day in the stock market if you can get a gain of 33%. But I'm not sure what this thing does for a dividend yield. You said it does dividends here. Let's see. Dividend yield. Oh my god. Okay. So the dividend yield is actually indicating about 108%. So this thing, if you're a high risk guy and you still like collecting dividends, this might be the asset for you. But I don't know. How is it collecting dividends? How does this ETF actually make money? Let's see. This thing says it aims to pay monthly distributions based on the put option writing strategy. The ETF is actively managing holding indirect exposure to Tesla leverage ETFs. It seeks 200% of the daily percentage change of the Tesla ETF. So basically you're shorting Tesla. That's how this thing makes money. This is just such a weird, funky way to try to make money. Why not just buy Tesla? Why do you have to go into an ETF that's trying to short Tesla? It just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, if you're not able to buy or buy put options, maybe this thing is for you. But why not just take put options on Tesla itself? Why do you have to have an ETF do it for you? I don't get it. And you're doing leverage trading too. I don't know. I guess different strokes for different folks out there. Let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum. And then we'll look at Solana on top of that. Ooh, you know what? Let me clean this up. I did have previous analysis on Ethereum, but let's look at a different chart here that doesn't have that much of a cluster F here. Let me get rid of some previous analysis here on Ethereum. So we do see Ethereum is currently trading at $3,812. Ethereum, right? Clearly above most of the moving averages here. 200-day moving average is sitting at $24.89. However, this 21 EMA could provide support at $3,300, $3,386 to be exact, is where Ethereum could get support if it does drop down to lower prices. I gotta show you guys right now, Ethereum is cooked right now. It's overbought. Its RSI is at 76.54 right now. And this just leads me to believe that Ethereum has already made the move up on its price, and it's probably gonna come back down and at least get down below 70 on the RSI, so we can make another move up if we have to. But I wouldn't be surprised if Ethereum just trades sideways here at $3,800. Maybe try to test the $4,000 level here. But we have seen Ethereum at $4,000 before. We've actually seen it at, I believe, $4,100 here in December of 2024. Yeah. I still think that's your take profit target to the upside if you're trying to trade Ethereum. There's really not much more room to go. I think Ethereum is going to need to take a breather and a rest at these levels here. I'll quickly do a fib analysis on this. Down to that, yeah. So we do have a 1272 that says Ethereum could possibly get up to $4,400 as its next move up. And then the 1618 saying that we might see a $5,000 Ethereum to the upside. Okay. But if Ethereum decides to not go sideways, but actually come down and lose this momentum here, we do have the 786 retracement at $3,500. That could be where Ethereum decides to take a break and rest a little bit as the oscillators cool down. We might even see a more significant pullback where we come down to that golden pocket level at $3,300, which is right where that 21 EMA is sitting at. So this could be a more likely level if Ethereum starts dropping down for any reason, giving people a little bit of a good scare, only for us to then go back up to higher prices here, in my opinion. I see we got Ricky in the YouTube live stream. Ricky, I could have sworn I saw you on TikTok. Is that the same Ricky from TikTok? Let me know. Curious. You seem like yeah, you're here. And John says, let's get rich. I'm right there with you. Let's do it. Let's move on to Solana. Solana is one of those high market cryptocurrencies, just like Bitcoin and Ethereum, that I think still has room to run to the upside, because if we look at the daily chart here, the RSI on Solana is not as high. We're actually at 60 on the daily time frame for the RSI. And that means that Solana, if it wants to run up and actually hit that $200 level all over again, like it did last week, it could do that and not even be overbought. In my, I'm pretty sure it won't be overbought. And we look at the stochastic RSI on the daily time frame. Stochastic RSI is also showing that Solana is primed and ready to go to higher prices if it gets the permission to do so here. Also looking at the MACD, the buying pressure has come down, but that doesn't mean that we're going to start getting selling pressure. It could just come down and then come right back up again, okay? And then looking at market cipher B, we did have a red dot that came in on Solana. Looks like that red dot came in on last Thursday. Was the time to sell Solana when it was trading above 200 bucks. But usually after a red dot comes a green dot, so we're just waiting for that green buy dot to show up on Solana to confirm that, yeah, we might get another good few days here out of Solana if we start seeing that green dot show up on market cipher B here. Guys, don't mind if you hear voices in the background. I'm actually here on vacation right now, and I got some people in the living room that are, enjoying their vacation. But this is the only room that I can get. And if I go to any other room, you're still going to hear them. So anyways, I wonder if that's what Idris was saying, that he couldn't hear me. Yeah, there's some people that are in the same house as me that are being loud, just a little bit. So yeah, upside targets. Let's talk about Solana. What could Solana do if it decides to go up to higher prices? Solana, I have done a Fibonacci analysis measuring from when Solana got to like 294, 295, down to like the $95 level that we saw back in April. And Solana has been contesting up against this 0.5 retracement level for a while here. But if we can actually use this 0.5 level at 195 bucks as support rather than resistance, then the next level to be looking out for on Solana is going to be $218 to $225, which is where your golden pocket is sitting at for your Fibonacci analysis here. Then after that, we want to see if Solana can actually make it up to $252 here. You got the 0.786 retracement. And I actually drew out this trend line here for Solana. It would be nice to see if Solana can maintain this uptrend that it has been maintaining for the last few days here. Maintain this upward trend line, and we'll probably get up to that golden pocket level probably around, we might see a $230, $225 Solana August 19th if we maintain this uptrend. And then we might see like a $252 Solana if we maintain the uptrend sometime first week of September. But those are ands, ifs, and buts, you know. This is just if we are able to maintain the uptrend. We might exponentially go up and get there sooner, or we might just go sideways here and never actually get up to that $250 level. But this is just something to keep in mind, that if we were to maintain this uptrend, that could be your target date for $250 Solana, first week of September, right when the kids go back to school. Alright, and that's the upside targets on Solana. Downside is Solana was to, start losing its momentum here. We could come revisit the 0.382 level at $172 Solana. And then there's also the 200-day moving average sitting at about $162. So usually, when assets get above their 200-day moving average, they usually come back to revisit the 200-day moving average, use that as support, confirm that, and then go up. In this case, Solana didn't even do that. Solana just kept going up, and now it's getting the sell side pressure here. And the sell side pressure might be a little bit too strong. We might actually have to come down to that 200-day moving average, confirm that as support, and then go off to higher prices on Solana. So I give you the upside and the downside for these assets here. But out of the high market cap cryptocurrencies that are out there, I think Solana has more room to run versus Bitcoin and Ethereum. Definitely more. I think Solana should be able to catch some bids more so than Ethereum. Bitcoin could actually start running itself, because the daily time frame, when I look at the RSI, look at Bitcoin real quick. When you look at the RSI, it's not overbought on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's at a 59 on the RSI. So it might be time for Bitcoin and Solana to actually start running up on the prices here. And Ethereum just might have to take a back seat, because Ethereum already had its fun in the sun like the last couple of months here, and for the summer that we had. It might be time for Bitcoin and Solana to start catching those bids. Alright, moving on to some other assets here. We'll take a look at Sui. Sui currently trading at $4.06, down 6% today. Sui is trying to compete against Solana and Ethereum as a smart contract layer 1 coin. I think Sui might have the makings of a varsity athlete to actually do that. But if Sui decides to come down to lower prices and it loses its momentum here, We do have some confluence between the 21 EMA sitting at $3.76 and the 786 retracement sitting at $3.80. We might have to revisit this level again, make a higher low before we go up to higher prices for SUI. And if SUI does decide to go to higher prices, then we're looking at the 1272. We're still looking at $4.89 as a take profit target, which is going to be right close to $5. And then we have the 1618 saying that SUI could get up to like $5.67 before it decides to chill out. And if it does that, I think that should be new all-time highs. Yeah, SUI hasn't been that high. The highest price that we've seen SUI trading at was $5.37 on Monday, January 6th. That was the high watermark for SUI. I think SUI could possibly get up to higher than that and get up to that 1618. Then we also have the 2618 saying that we could see a $7.98 SUI. Basically a double in price from where it is right now. And if we go back and look at the oscillators for SUI, look at the RSI. RSI is at 60, so SUI might be ready to run. We might actually see another run up in prices here where Bitcoin goes up to higher prices, Solana goes up to higher prices, and SUI goes up to higher prices, and Ethereum might just sit that one out. I mean, it might go up a little bit in sympathy, but I think Ethereum has already made its move up, and it needs to like kind of chill out for a little bit, cool down for a second. We're looking at some of these other indicators here, like the Market Cipher B. Market Cipher B said that we had a green dot for SUI on July 26th, this past Saturday, saying that you might want to strongly consider buying some SUI at these prices here because SUI is getting the money flow coming in. Money is pouring into SUI right now, and usually when you see a green dot, you get like a good few days, maybe even a good couple of weeks, where the asset goes up to higher prices here. Let's take a look at the last time SUI had a green dot. It was June 24th, and we'll see what the price was like around that time. So around June 24th, we saw SUI trading at about $2.70, $2.80, and then look what happened. We went up to higher prices, right? And then when we get that red dot, you know, we had the green dot on June 24th, and then we got the red dot on July 18th. So if you were just using Market Cipher B to trade, on July 18th, you would have been selling a SUI at like $4.20 or somewhere in the high $4. Basically where SUI is trading at right now, you would have been selling it at that price. So Market Cipher B, pretty useful indicator. Like a little cheat sheet, especially on the daily time frame here. It just told you, hey, buy some SUI today, and it said that on Saturday. Okay, and that was just after it told you to sell SUI Friday, July 18th. You would have missed that correction, right? That we had a correction on July 18th, and then it said, oh nope, July 26th, time to buy. So I like using Market Cipher B to help me figure out, especially if I'm not sure if I should be bullish or bearish. I use that on the smaller time frames when I'm day trading, but on the larger time frames, it's good to see that we got a daily green dot here on SUI saying that, hey, time to buy SUI. Next few days, next few weeks might be good for SUI to go up to higher prices. Let's see. John 3:16 saying, Damien, when you cash out, you're gonna. Okay, wait. Damien, when I cash out, I will hire you as my pilot to fly to somewhere hot like Jamaica. Let's do it. I'm ready. Let's go. What kind of jet or plane you want to get? I'm curious. You want like a turboprop or turbojet? You tell me. And then Ricky's asking me about ASR. We actually looked at ASR. Did you ask about that on TikTok and then come over to YouTube and ask it again? We'll take a look at ASR one more time. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we already looked at that. I got it written down that we already looked at ASR. Alright, we'll take a look at ASR one more time for you. And yes, I'm capable and rated to fly jet planes. The last jet plane I flew was the CRJ-200 for US Airways before they got bought out by American Airlines. Like almost 10 years ago. Alright, let's see. ASR currently up 17%. Cashing those bids, and I think this is a token that we said you should be looking for shorts or looking to be taking profit, because the likelihood of this going down just as fast as it went up is very high. But I did do a Fibonacci analysis. If it was to continue going up, you got the $7.96 level should be your first take profit target, and then the 1618 at $9.50 should be your second take profit target. And if this thing does come down on you, most likely it will hit that 618 Fibonacci retracement at $5.06. We actually did hit that level earlier today, so it might actually come down a little bit further if it wants to actually go down, and not in a good way. If it goes down to the 0.236 level here, it might you might see $3.36 ASR. And you're also clearly above most of the moving averages here. You better hope it has some staying power at this level. Maybe do like a bull flag and then go to higher prices, because if not, this thing could come just down. It could come down just as fast as it went up. You had 1, 2, 3, 4 good solid days here. You could have 4 bad days and bring it right back and just round trip this thing. I don't know if this thing has the staying power, because I mean, when we've seen this asset trading, you know, previous trading history, when we have gone up just as fast as we did, you know, the past few days here, we've also come down, right? We've had candlewick highs. We've even come down the same day that we went up to these price levels here. So I'd be very wary. I would be clicking the sell button if I had this asset here, and I would be considering taking a short maybe. And if you were to short this, yeah, let's just game plan this out if we were shorting this, right? If we were to short this, you would short it right now at like 615. It seems like it's kind of near the highs for the day. The highs for the day was like 642. So if this thing does climb up to higher prices, you might want to consider putting it in the short. And then you would just put your stop loss like probably at like $7 or 680 maybe. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. You know, you gotta take your loss. You were wrong. This thing is gonna be continue to be bullish on instead of bearish. But if this thing starts dropping down, you know, you could take this down all the way back to $5, or even down to the $4 area, or even $3.36. All right. NK is saying no coins gotta re-up. Why is that? What are you gonna re-up on? What are you gonna get? What kind of coins do you think you should get? I think Sui and Solana look pretty good in my eyes. I feel like Ethereum already had its run up. But we haven't looked at XRP. XRP might be one worth taking a look at. Let's take a look at XRP. We're now looking at XRP, currently trading at $3.17, down 2% today. And in my opinion, the XRP army, a very strong army for that matter, is probably not going to allow XRP to go any lower than $3. And last time we did go below $3, we didn't stay there for too long. We didn't even stay there for one day. On July 24th here, we got as low as $2.96, only for us to get back up again. And then we had like a kind of like a hammer candle, which is kind of signifying that there is a lot of buying pressure at that $3 level there. and that allowed XRP to cast some bids here over the weekend. But now we are going down mainly because of those Trump threats to put tariffs on anybody that trades with Russia, because Russia is not doing a peace deal with Ukraine, and Donald Trump is a little bit upset with Russia right now, so we got that going on here. But with all that being said, yeah, XRP, it could revisit $3 one more time, get a bounce, and then if it does bounce up and go to higher prices, we're looking at the 76 retracement acting as a resistance at $3.28. And then we'll see if XRP can actually climb back up to 366 like it did earlier in July here. And then we get the 1272 saying that we could see a $4.13 XRP. And we got the 1618 saying we got a $4.74 XRP probably coming up later on in 2025. Going into the oscillators here, if XRP does want to start running alongside with Bitcoin and Solana and Sui, we could actually see that happening here, because we have an RSI of about only 60 for XRP. So I think XRP has the rocket fuel to actually continue to go to higher prices. Looking at market cipher B, we did have a red dot that said that you should have been selling your XRP on July 20th, last Sunday, because we ended up having a bad week for XRP after that. But after a red dot usually comes a green dot, so we're waiting for a green dot to show up here on the daily time frame, and if it does, that probably means it's a good day, good time to be buying XRP all over again. So if I see that on the chart, I will let you guys know. Last time we had a green dot that says you should have been buying XRP was about June 24th. And let's take a look. We'll look at that on the charts here. What did June 24th look like for XRP? June 24th was right over here when XRP was trading at like $2.20. And if you had listened to Market Cipher B and actually bought around that time, you would have been the benefactor of all this juicy price action to the upside for XRP. So I think it's pretty important, right, to listen to these indicators here, right? When you see Market Cipher B say time to buy, you should probably listen, especially on the daily time frame, high time frames. And then when it says time to sell, like it did here on July 20th, you would have missed out on that nasty red candle that we got on Wednesday, July 23rd, when we went down 10%. Market Cipher B pretty much predicted that. You would have a bad few days up ahead. So I'm just waiting for it to say, hey, you'll have a green dot and you could have room to go to the upside here on XRP. Hasn't happened yet, but we're looking for it. But going back to Bitcoin, I believe Bitcoin was getting a buy dot on Market Cipher B. Let's see what Bitcoin was showing. Yeah, that green dot, it shows up and then it disappears. Like we're on the cusp of getting a green dot here on Market Cipher B for Bitcoin. Last time you had a green dot was June 24th. Same time as XRP. And we all know what happened after that, right? Bitcoin went to new all-time highs. And then you got that red dot that showed up on Bitcoin here on July 16th. And then if you did that, I mean, you probably would have been selling right where we're at right now. Bitcoin's just been trading sideways. But this was basically saying that the most you can hope for is sideways trading action with a red dot on the daily time frame. The worst could be you end up dropping like a rock. Thankfully, that didn't happen. Okay. So this is kind of almost like a weak red dot that we got, because Bitcoin is still remaining slightly bullish here. I think it wants to go. I think we're gonna get later on this week. I think we're going to see all-time highs for Bitcoin, in my opinion. I think we'll see $123,000 all over again. Not financial advice, just my opinion. But from what I've seen and the things that we got going on in the markets, I know we got a little bit of scare about tariffs with Russia earlier this morning, but I don't think that's going to be an issue Although maybe me saying that is gonna prove me wrong. But I think this is just Trump doing another negotiating tactic, and the market's taking things way too serious than what they really are, and overreacting, in my opinion here. That's a free version of Market Cipher B, Ricky, that I'm using. I'll show you the indicator here if I can. If you go on to TradingView, we're looking for what? Market Cipher B. Where am I looking? Market Cipher B, right? So Market Cipher B free version with buy and sell by Falcon Coin. Okay. Try using that indicator. Add that into your TradingView chart, and just play around with it and get familiar with it. Yeah, Falcon Coin should be a good good one to use. Yeah. All right. So it seems like my TikTok guy is a little bit quiet today. That's all right. We had a pretty lively live stream yesterday. I guess this kind of gives me a little bit of break today. I'm a little curious to see what's going on in coin market. I want to see who's actually taking it on the chin the most here. Let's take a look at coin market cap. Looking at CoinMarketCap.com, we got the trending coins off on the left here: Ethereum, Bitcoin, XRP, Solana, all the coins that everybody's still interested in buying. And looking over here at the Fear and Greed Index, we are at 67. That's a little bit better. I did see it at 70, but that was when we were like near all-time highs. With Fear and Greed at like 67, I believe we can still be slightly bullish, but cautiously optimistic at the same time, because there could be a pullback on us. And then let's see, we're looking at the market cap for all these coins. Let's see which ones had the worst day today. Looks like Curve out of the top 100 cryptocurrencies is down 7%, having a bad day. Virtual is actually down 6.7%. These could be buying opportunities for these coins here. Usually you want to buy on the red days or on a bad week, bad month here. Even Sui's down. It looks like down 5.65% today, and Casper down 6%. So a lot of these coins that did pretty well over the last couple of weeks are getting sold off right now. Let's see who had a bad week. Oh yeah, Pump.Fund's been having a bad week for a while now. And then it looks like Virtual's had a bad week past 7 days here, down 20%. Sonic down 18% this past week. Dogecoin down 17%, and Fartcoin down 16% this past week. So a lot of these coins that had a run-up are now getting sold off, it seems, in the last 7 days here. Coins that are actually doing pretty well over the last 7 days. The big winners in the top 100 is going to be Athena, up about 25% the last 7 days here. Then we got Story IP up 19%, Flare up 18%, and Chronos, my buddy John 316. Looks like Chronos has been having a good week so far the last 7 days here, but that could mean that there might be a slight pullback going into this next week here. Pudgy Penguins been having a good week almost every week, seems like, this whole summer. Well, Pudgy Penguins up 13.8% the past 7 days here, currently trading at 4 cents. So yeah, you got some notable gainers here, some double-digit gainers on the last 7 days here. Crypto that I'm also eyeballing that could be a sleeper is Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash trading at $583, up 11% the past 7 days here. And BNB is actually starting to make some new higher highs here as well at 9.69%. I kind of want to look at Bitcoin Cash and BNB. Let's take a look at those on the charts here. And then I think I'm going to end the live stream after that. But I want to go to the beach. I'm supposed to be on vacation, but I'm doing this live stream for you guys because I want to look at the charts here with you guys and answer your questions and your requests here. So I still showed up for you guys, even on my vacation. All right, but it's not really too much, you know. By the time I get to the beach, it's gonna be nice and warm. Hopefully the water's warm. But anyways, Bitcoin Cash trading at $582 and down $7 today. Bitcoin Cash, if I look at the oscillators, I believe this thing for the RSI was okay. Yeah, no, it actually did get over, but Bitcoin Cash was catching my attention like the last couple of weeks here because I noticed that the RSI was at like 50, and then of course it caught bids, and then 53 again on July 23rd, about a week ago, around last Wednesday, and yeah, I have been eyeballing Bitcoin Cash, and I think other people have been looking at it, and this thing has been up and steady, going up and to the right, in a steady form and fashion here. You're just maintaining this uptrend. Just keep doing what you're doing here with Bitcoin Cash, and you'll be fine. Clearly above most of the moving averages here. Almost, yeah, it's above all the moving averages right now. So we're in a bull trend on Bitcoin Cash, and we're challenging the highs that we've seen here back in December, where we saw Bitcoin Cash as high as like $640 back on December 6th of 2024. I think that's still going to be in play for Bitcoin Cash. But the other thing that I was talking to some friends of mine in the Discord channel was, you know, I know that Bitcoin Cash can get confused with Bitcoin, and I feel like if new people are going to start entering the market, they're going to start buying Bitcoin Cash thinking that they're buying Bitcoin, but they don't know the difference. They're just going to think they're getting a cheaper version of Bitcoin and that they'll still get the benefits of Bitcoin. But yeah, I think Bitcoin Cash should be catching some bids here just because of the name recognition with Bitcoin. And it should be on its way up to higher prices. We did see Bitcoin Cash get as high as what? Ooh, $1,400 back in 2021. And I think this was mainly people being confused, not knowing that Bitcoin Cash is not Bitcoin. So we might get that same impulse move up, exponential move up here on Bitcoin Cash. And if that does that, if we start seeing like $1,000 Bitcoin Cash, you know for damn sure we're in altcoin season all over again. But let me just do a fib retracement here. From the swing high to swing low. So we're kind of coming up on the 618. Actually, we already did get past the 618. We already got past the 618, and we're on our way to the 786 at $621 Bitcoin Cash. If we go up to higher prices here for Bitcoin Cash, we could see the 1272 at $851, and we got the 1618 saying that yeah, it is possible for Bitcoin Cash to get up to $1,000 here, all over again. That might happen later on in 2025. Might happen maybe the beginning of 2026. But I think Bitcoin Cash is one to be on the lookout for, just because of the name recognition of Bitcoin. Alright, and then what was the other one I want to look at? BNB, Binance Coin. This is a coin that is always going to get support from, what is it? ZZ, that Chinese guy. Yeah, and his Binance exchange. So Binance Coin should always get support because they use the money from their profits that they get from trading and letting people trade on their exchange, and they just support the coin by burning Binance Coin and supporting the price. But right now, I think Binance Coin has made new all-time highs. I don't think Binance Coin has ever been this high before. Yeah. Wow. I have done previous Fibonacci analysis back in like 2022 on this coin, where we got a 1618 that says this thing could get up to $1,000, and wow, we're not even that far away. Like maybe like $160 more, and you're gonna see $1,000 Binance Coin. And then there's a 2618 that says we could see a $1,500 Binance Coin. That's a double from where we are right now. This is just a monthly chart on Binance Coin. Let's go into the daily chart for Binance. You're clearly above all the moving averages as you're making this new all-time high. Binance Coin has never been this high before. And I will do another Fibonacci just using the data that we got most recently. Binance Coin did get as high as $861, I think, last night. And if we lose the bullish momentum on Binance Coin, we could come right back to $806, which is your 786. That would be a shallow retracement. A more likely retracement, if it's a normal healthy pullback, is going to be the 0.618 at $763. I think that's going to be somewhere where the 21 EMA would come in to rescue us. If we did come down for whatever reason, 21 EMA should act as support around $730, $760. And if Binance Coin continues to go to higher prices, then yeah, we got the 1618 saying that this bad boy does want to get to $1,000. Let me just move the camera here. This bad boy does want to get to $1,000 here. So makes sense to me. And you still got like a what, 2618 saying 1200, and then a 3618 saying $1,500. We could see $1,500 for Binance Coin. Oh, so we'll finish off looking at Bitcoin again. And sadly and unfortunately, with the way the markets are today, Bitcoin is actually going down. Just waiting for traders and investors to get over the fact that Donald Trump has threatened Russia with 100% tariffs. But let's see, as I zoom in onto the 1 hour time frame, yeah, we lost 200 MA on the 1 hour, so we could be in for a doozy of a day, going down to low prices here on Bitcoin. We might see 117,500 all over again if you're day trading. This is only like $400 away from where we are right now. Let me look at the Market Cipher B. Market Cipher B said, "Oh, you should have been selling last night at 9 o'clock." Okay, all right. But are we done selling? Are we actually going to get a green dot? I'm looking for that green dot to show up on Market Cipher B on the 1 hour time frame. And if it does, then maybe we can start catching some bids here on Bitcoin. Going back to the daily time frame here, if this sell-off continues selling off, then I'm still looking at the 0.65 retracement at $114,500 Bitcoin as a possible area where we could bounce off of Bitcoin. Alright, and then it looks like we got Neymar in the chat asking what are my thoughts on the market. I think we can still remain bullish on the markets for both crypto and stocks. We're waiting on an interest rate decision on Wednesday. Could be possibly good news if they actually lower interest rates, or if they hint on the fact that they're thinking about lowering interest rates. They don't have to actually lower interest rates, but if they talk and give us like a dovish speech about them thinking about lowering interest rates, then that could be enough to send the markets to higher prices, in my opinion. And then maybe we actually get the interest rate cut in September, is when they'll have their next meeting. And then later on this week, we do have an interesting IPO by Figma on Thursday. That should be worth taking a look at. We'll see how that thing trades on Thursday and Friday, if it does start trading. And then Friday we have unemployment number and jobs report for the month of July. So we'll see if that happens. Wow, okay, Neymar saying he can't hear me. So something happened with this live stream. I don't know why you guys aren't able to hear me, but I'm going to have to double check to see why that's the case. But that's unfortunate. I think that's why my TikTok live stream didn't do so well. Something with the sound. I was thinking about shutting off the live stream and then turning it back on again. But yeah, that's unfortunate if you guys aren't able to hear me. And then Ricky's asking, is Bitcoin done climbing? Oh, it did not have any sound? Alright, that kind of explains why this live stream didn't do so well. So I'm actually going to try to end the live stream on TikTok and see if I can... Neymar, if you're able to, we're going to end it and then try to restart it again. See if that fixes it. Alright, so I'm literally restarting the live stream here for my TikTok. I don't know why. Why they weren't able to hear me. But I'm gonna restart that live stream. See if that fixes it. Oh, you know what I think is happening here? Oh my god. That's probably what it is. I think I had my phone connected to my headphones. That's probably what messed up my TikTok live stream here. That's probably what messed it up big time. So that's unfortunate. I'll just have to fix that for the next day. But we fixed that here. Well, we kind of went through most of the live stream for TikTok. So that's unfortunate. I didn't have that issue yesterday because I didn't have the headphones connected to my phone. Ricky, you want to look at Bitcoin dominance? All right, we'll take a look at Bitcoin dominance real quick. And we're looking at Bitcoin dominance currently trading at 61%. Could this possibly be a higher low, and is Bitcoin dominance going to shoot right back up to the 200-day moving average? 200-day moving average sitting at 62.63%. Hey Rich, I see Rich has joined. Rich, are you able to hear me on this live stream? I'm just do a quick sound check. Let me know if you can hear me on the TikTok live stream here, because we were having some sound issues earlier. I think I might have fixed it. Just let me know if you're able to hear me. I know my YouTube guys can hear me, but I had my headphones connected by accident, and I think it messed up the sound here. All right, 200-day moving average could act as resistance at 62.63%. We've already bearishly back tested the 200-day moving average just to come down, and this was good to see. But are we gonna have to back test that 200-day moving average one more time at 62%, only for us to then finally get an altcoin season that we've all been looking for? I want to see Bitcoin dominance drop down harder and faster than what it's already done. Like, this was a good start. That was a good start to the altcoin season, but we need a continuation pattern. We want to see this continue going down into like the 50s here for Bitcoin dominance, and that's going to be a really good altcoin season if we start seeing, like, if Bitcoin dominance can get down to like 54%. All right, so you can hear me now, but it's a little bit choppy. That's good to hear. I'm gonna have to revisit, and I can rewatch these live streams and find out what the sound issue was like. But yeah, that's unfortunate. I thought I was able to fix the issue here, but hey, you know, it's technology for you. Things just always give you a surprise here. But anyways, I want to see market cap dominance for Bitcoin drop like it did and just continue dropping. We had that, like a little bit of a tease of that back in November and December of 2024, where we lost that market cap dominance. We do not want Bitcoin market cap dominance to go up any more than it's already done. I want to see low 50s here, but I actually want to see even lower than that. I want to see like 40s, if possible, for market cap dominance. I don't want Bitcoin taking half of the market cap of crypto, because I think it's done enough already. When we seen Bitcoin dominance get down below 50% into the 40s, like, do you remember what it was like back in May of 2021? We were at a market cap dominance of like 40%, and that was when Ethereum hit $4,000 for the first time, and all those other cryptocurrencies were doing pretty well in 2021. That's the altcoin season that everybody remembers, and they're hoping that we're gonna get that again. And we got to see Bitcoin dominance get down to 40%. in order for us to actually get to you know, an altcoin season that we all are hoping and wishing for here. But yeah, I guess now my TikTok is starting to liven up a little bit. Florida in here says you can hear me. Oh man, does that mean I need to what, continue the live stream a little bit longer now? Do you guys have any more requests here? Because I was about to end the live stream. We have gone live for about an hour and a half. I could probably do like maybe 1 or 2 more requests, and then I gotta end the day. But I'll be on the lookout. Next time I gotta make sure that my headphones aren't connected to the phone. Dizzle, you want to look at the ZBCN? Okay, we'll look at ZBCN for you one more time. So I have done previous chart work on ZBCN. Looking at the daily time frame, ZBN is currently trading at 45,000 points right now. And I just think, you know, ZBCN it's currently getting rejected off the 0.5 retracement level here at 45,284. If we lose this momentum, we might come revisit the 0.32 level at 39,000, only for us to create a higher low and possibly go up to higher highs. And if we do go up to higher highs, I'm looking at the 618 and 6.5 retracement level at 51,000, 53,000. Could be, this area could be where we get rejected again and create a higher high, hopefully, only for us to then revisit the levels that we're at right now, make a higher low, and then go up to higher prices on ZBCN. But I think ZBN is doing quite alright, just recovering after having a bad June and also a bad July here. We're now starting our recovery process and using this 50-day moving average, this green line, as support. Whoever bought here did a good job, because that was a higher low, and you're getting the bounce off the 50-day moving average. And you're also buying the 0.236 retracement in this area. This was a good buy zone here for ZBCN. I think you can still be bullish on ZBCN as long as you don't lose this higher low here. Alright, don't lose, was it 28,000? Yeah, don't lose 28,000 on ZBCN, and I think you can still be bullish on this asset. Provoke Picks wants to look at the Graphite Protocol, and Florida wants me to look at Ethereum. Okay, we'll look at the Graphite Protocol, and then we'll look at Ethereum as the last coin for this live stream here. I've already gone live for about 2 hours now, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to. Apparently my headphones was on and I didn't know, and that kind of messed up the sound. People weren't able to hear me, but we'll get that fixed for the next live stream. It's always something. Throw a little bit of wrench into your live streams here. Alright. Yeah, we're going to focus on looking at Graphite, right? Graphite Protocol. No, this looks like a brand new coin here. This thing started trading on Mexi Exchange July 8th. This thing is not even 1 month old. But you have some green candles here. It's nice to see that rather than red candles. Sometimes these things go on exchange and they automatically get dumped down to the downside here. You didn't have that happen here with Graphite. Graphite currently trading at $5.45, down 10%. So you kind of are getting a little bit of a correction. What can I do? I could possibly do a Fibonacci analysis. There's nothing here for moving averages. I don't even have the 21 EMA yet. Looks like it's kind of showing up just here right now. But yeah, I'll do a Fibonacci analysis. This is all I can do. You can still do a Fibonacci on something that's brand new. So here we go. We got the Fibonacci for Graphite Protocol. And I think this thing wants to head on down to the 618 retracement at $4.77, which is where you could get some bids start showing up. Short sellers will start taking profit at this area. Buyers might start stepping in and buying it at the 618 at 477. This thing does make a deeper retracement. We could come down to the 0.382 or even the 0.236. 0.236 says $2.51. However, I'm starting to see the beginning of a 21 EMA at 346, which is kind of confluent with the 0.382 retracement. So maybe this thing starts getting bids and bounces off of 337 if it does decide to come down to that level. If this thing continues to be bullish and this thing is done going down for now, then we do have the 1272 that says $8.63 could be a first take profit target. Second take profit target is going to be about 1618 at $10.68. So now I see my other guys showing up in the chat. And Neymar, are you able to hear me now? Because I think we will fix that sound issue. My freaking mic, my headphones were connected to my phone here, and I think that is what messed up the sound issue here. But yeah, I see you want me to take a look at Brett. We can take a look at Brett. And Donna wants to look at Pulse Chain, and oh my god. Okay. And then we got more picks. We got some more requests here for GP and Bonk, and then Ethereum. All right, so we are gonna look at Ethereum after this one, and then we'll take a look at Brett and Pulse Chain. All right, so let's go ahead and look at Ethereum now. Binance, yeah. Alright, so we did talk about Ethereum earlier in this live stream, but we'll do a quick summary analysis on this asset here. I have measured Ethereum from where it topped out at 39.48 down to the lows here at 2,100. Gave me this Fibonacci here. If Ethereum starts losing the momentum to the downside here, then I think we're going to probably maybe get a bounce off of the $3,300 level where the golden pocket is sitting at. Maybe 618 at 32.59 is where you could put your buy limit orders on Ethereum. I don't think Ethereum is going to drop like a rock on us. Ethereum has a lot of support from the ETFs out there, and just it's a well-known name out there in cryptocurrency world. I don't think Ethereum should drop like a rock. I think it does have some staying power, but if it doesn't, then yeah, there's a 200-day moving average still sitting at 24.89. That would hurt a lot if we lost all this progress that we made on Ethereum. But if Ethereum is able to continue making progress to the upside, we have a 1272 saying that we could see a $4,400 Ethereum, and then we have a 1618 that says later on in 2025 we're looking at a $5,000 Ethereum. Okay, so those are your upside targets for Ethereum, and also your downside targets if Ethereum does decide to come down for any reason here. That's the summary analysis for Ethereum. Now we'll move on to Pulse Chain, yeah, and then we'll take a look at Brett. Pulse Chain is always one of those difficult coins for me to find. I'm not really sure what exchange it actually trades on. I think the Hex one is the one that I want. Yeah, this looks like the coin that I'm looking for. Pulse Chain currently trading at 1 cent, down 6% today. And Pulse Chain finally doing what it needs to do and get above that 200-day moving average, and it did it in a convincing fashion. You got a 29% up day yesterday on Pulse Chain. Okay, let me get rid of some of this previous chart work here. But we've been waiting for Pulse Chain to actually get above this 200-day moving average, and it did. So if it, what we now need out of Pulse Chain is we need to stay above the 200-day moving average, and if we do come down to the 200-day moving average, this red line, sitting at about roughly 0.0086 pennies, then I want to see pulse chain bounce off of that and use it as support. Maybe create a higher low before we go to higher prices here on pulse chain. But your downside protection should be, you know, roughly 0.086 pennies unless we lose it. And then we do have some more moving averages that could act as support. You got the 100-day and the 50 days sitting at like 0.0067 and 0.0687. So you got some more support if you do lose the 200-day moving average. So this is not a bad asset to get into if you're able to get into it. It's just hard to find this on any of the exchanges here. But I'm loving the fact that you also made a higher high compared to what you did back here in May. So this is going to get people excited. The people who bought here in May, who got a little bit discouraged seeing it go down in price, they're now seeing that not only did they break even, but now they're actually in profit. So these people might be less likely to sell if they haven't sold already. So that's good to see as well. And then moving forward to higher prices, if we do go to higher prices on Pulse Chain, I see a lot of sideways trading action at 0.0135 pennies. Could be where we get another take profit target for us. And then, you know, we'll see if that Pulse Chain can get up to like what it was doing back here in December when it was trading at like roughly 3 pennies, 2 pennies in that area. But I mean, that would obviously be your take profit target 2 and take profit target 3. If this thing is trading at 1 penny right now, take profit target 2 is going to be 2 pennies, and then take profit target 3 is going to be 3 pennies. And I can turn on the VRVP to see if it actually confirms that with me. Right now, the POC is sitting at this blue line, sitting at the about 0.013 pennies. I've already said that is an area that I think most people are going to click the sell button on you. But once you get past that area, the VRVP drops off, and you get some resistance at like 0.018 pennies. Then it drops off again, and then you might not get resistance until you get to 2 pennies. I think that's when people are going to click the sell button on you, is when this thing gets to 2 pennies. And that's basically a double. And if you double your investment, you should consider clicking that sell button. Not financial advice, but something that I think you should consider. Alright, let's see. We gotta look at Brett now. I'm just gonna take a look at Brett, and then we'll take a look at Bonk. And I want to say that I want to end the live stream there, but I also like the fact that you guys are keeping me busy with the requests. But I do have to go about the rest of my day here, so it's gonna be Brett and then Bonk, and then we're out. Alright, so let me clean things up here on the charts. Got so much to look at with all these rainbow colors here. But I do have previous Fibonacci analysis on Brett. Brett is currently at 0.057 pennies, down 4%. As I start to zoom in on the charts here, we see Brett is staying above the 200-day moving average, and I think the 50-day is also acting as support as well. And we even got the 21 EMA, this white line. So you got a lot of support. The moving averages are bunched up together. And when you get the moving averages bunched up together, it means that you might be in for an explosive move. Could be to the upside, to the downside, but because we've already had so much downside already on this coin, I think the explosive move is going to be to the upside on Brett. And if it does go up to higher prices, we're looking at like maybe 7 cents as a first take profit target. Then we're looking at roughly 8 cents as a second take profit target, and then we'll see how it handles itself when it gets up to 9 cents, which is where it was at back in May. Okay, so it might be a 50% move up from where you are right now on Brett. And then we got the 1272 saying that this thing could possibly get up to 10, almost 11 cents. And then the 1618 saying 12 cents is still in play here for Brett. That's going to be basically a double from where you are right now. Yeah, possibly a 2x here on Brett. And I'm also liking the fact that you are making higher lows. Did we get past this high here on June 11th? We got up, this thing was as high as 0.0689 pennies, 0.0665, so not really. So we're still looking for a higher high above this candle wick here. Let's see if we can do that and recapture that 7 cent level, with the golden pocket level at that area. So I'm eyeballing 7 cents. Once we get up to 7 cents on Brett, I'll be even more bullish on this asset. All right, so that's Brett in a nutshell. Let's go on to Bonk, and then that's gonna be it for the live stream here, guys. Alright, so now we have Bonk currently trading at 33.84. I do have previous Fibonacci analysis that I like to use a lot. Hopefully now you guys are getting used to looking at the Fibonacci with me. You probably already guessed, if this thing goes to the lower side here, you got the golden pocket here sitting at 28.92. That could be a support. But if Bonk is going to continue remaining bullish and not even do a pullback, then this 786 retracement that you're already at 33.08, this might be the only pullback that you get on Bonk before you go to higher prices. And we're looking at like a 1272 at 4,500 for Bonk is where we might, get some resistance. And then we got a 1618 saying 5,300 on Bonk could be coming up later on in 2025 here. Has Bonk actually traded that high though? It has, yeah. It looks like back here in 2024, November 2024, we saw this thing trading at 5,900. So I think 5,000 level for Bonk is coming up on deck later on in 2025 here. We've already done that. I think we're capable of doing that again here. Okay. But yeah, downside target. If we lose the 786 retracement, we do have 28.92 and 29.71 for your golden pocket here as a possible support zone. And then you got the 21 EMA, this white line at 3,000. So maybe we never go below 3,000 again on Bonk. Especially if we're going to remain bullish here. I appreciate you guys following me here on TikTok and clicking that like button. If you haven't hit that like button, go ahead and double tap your screen here. Let me know that you're enjoying the analysis here. But that's going to be it here for the live stream on the Meet Damien channel. I've been going live for the last couple hours, and yeah, I'm gonna go to the beach now and enjoy my rest of my vacation here. I'm not sure when I'll go live again, but just be on the lookout. I usually go live around this time at 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern time, and if I don't go live early like that, then you can catch me around dinner time at like 5 or 6 p.m. Eastern time is another slot that I like to go live at. So just be on the lookout for the live stream here, guys. And for my YouTube guys, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And be on the lookout. Sometimes I do some clips of these live streams, and I'll put up some of these assets here as a TikTok video or a YouTube short that we can all watch again. Okay? But yeah, that's going to be it for this live stream, guys. Take care, and I'll see you on the next live stream.
And frivolity, fighting endless wars for trivialities. We must have lost our way many centuries before. No more misconceptions of what's in store. We cannot define destiny. Realize,